Andrea, we had karaoke, we had a crooked cop, we had basically a love triangle going on. How can this possibly not be the best Private Eyes that we have seen so far?
Well, we'll see if I agree.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Well, we're
Uh,
on season 1, episode 7. This one was called Karaoke Confidential. A simple surveillance case at a karaoke bar in Little Korea escalates to contain real risk, forcing Shade and Angie to call in familiar reinforcements for help. All right, so what we liked. I loved that Matt called Angie my boss. She's pretty awesome. Like, that was the first time we've kind of heard him use that language. I also enjoyed Matt discovering Angie and Detective Nolan
oh
being
yeah.
together. I like how they kind of
And he
worked.
discovered it like detective-y too, right? Just the
Yes.
looks.
Well, and I like how they worked with the police force to uncover the crooked cops, that
Right.
they got to. I didn't like the actual, which we'll talk about in a little bit, the mystery, but I did like that they worked with Detective Nolan and um the other guy.
I don't know his name either.
Oh, I do. I wrote it down. I'll have to look. Curtis. I was like, I knew I would.
His
Curtis
name
was his name.
Curtis? Oh,
I
that's
believe
my
because I looked on IMDb and that was the only other repeating one. So I was like, oh, Curtis. I would not have gotten there. So I like how they all came together to kind of solve this. I think that was fun to see them. I just didn't actually. Well, I'll save that for what I didn't like. So what about you? What'd you like?
I mean, come on. Karaoke.
I'm not a big
Karaoke for
karaoke
me
person. Oh.
Karaoke for me is like sticking a barn on a farm in Ireland for you, for Scotland, right? I can't go wrong. Even if it's not the best, I'm still going
Oh,
to enjoy it.
yeah.
So I loved the karaoke scene. Not only that it was at the karaoke bar, but at the end when they had the karaoke, like they were, there, loved it. What do we say? Give us some Detective Derek. We both have crushes on the guy. He is fantastic. So when
Fire.
he's in there, it's always going to be good. And like you said, I love the way that they integrated the investigation in with themselves and with the police. And even with our, like, one of the things we always talk about is how, oh, they break laws and this, that, and the other. Now they're private eye, so they get a little more leniency than the amateur sleuth. But you had Detective Derek come in and be like, when they were, doing the fake sting of the interrogation, he came in and was like, you can't do it this way. If you want to nail him, this isn't the way to do it. Click and shut it down. So, it's still our little fictitious world of, if you had a real police detective in there, they'd probably find 100 things wrong. I'll say they'll find 99 things wrong in this one because that's probably pretty true in how they handled it. So I loved that. The little the writing in this, even the throwaway scenes are just great. The hipster conversation when Angie's like, ugh, hipsters, whatever, what have they ever done? And he's like, what? They gave us artisan cheese, craft beer, um, great coffee. And she's like, yeah, they gave us big Amish hats, big glasses, and man buns. And, Shade's like, oh, yeah, yeah, you're right. So I found that hilarious. Like those, they just have so much good dialogue in there. And like you said, she's like, he called her the boss. She called partner at one point too. So like sort of that hierarchy thing of blending. And then, yeah, that touching moment when she was like really concerned for him. And you got to see that she's got her little tough exterior, but she definitely obviously likes Matt Shade. And I like the fact that she likes Matt Shade in a partner way that I care about you, that it's not romance. Keep her going with Derek, keep her going with Derek, keep her going with Derek. We also got to see Shade be a good dad. He had that teachable moment and he handled it right. He talked about like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And then he, I thought, navigated it quite well. And then, going back to the writing, my favorite line of the whole thing, did Teddy Sprinkles disappear with or without his unicorn? When uh they're doing that earlier and Angie just threw that down. Angie gets all the good lines, by the way. Her snark is love her snark.
Well, what we didn't like, the mystery itself. This is probably my least favorite, like, actual mystery. I'm not sure why I didn't like it because I think maybe the crooked cop, because there was one in or there's a few in Diagnosis Murderer that have crooked cops. Those are also not my favorite. I don't know why I don't like that. Sometimes they're just, I don't know, it feels maybe too real. Like this is totally stuff
Isn't
that
that
can
like every
happen.
other episode of Poker Face? Like the
No,
shady? All right.
no. I mean, no, not this season, especially. There's not too much cops involved. But yeah, it's not, I didn't really enjoy that. I didn't just as you had said earlier, or I guess in our review with characters, like I'm not drawn to anyone, or I wasn't drawn to anyone in this one besides our main characters. Often, if a good mystery, you like someone in the mystery that they're trying to solve, or you're like, oh, like I liked the premise or where we're going. And this, I didn't really, I didn't care for anyone. So I think that makes it hard to buy into it. So for me, it kind of fell a little flat, which was disappointing after looking at the IMDb's. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And then I'm like, ah. So I think there was also some disappointment of that, of thinking it was going to be really good, and then it kind of fell little flat for me. What about you?
I agree with you a little bit. The premise of the whole mystery per se, just it was, I'm not sure what it was. Something was just not quite right with the
Yeah,
actual whole mystery, right? And I hear you because the main guy who, their client, for some reason, I found him very unlikable.
yeah. I
And
mean,
that
he
kind
didn't
of
connect with the
I think if
audience.
they had maybe had a different casting of it, it
Yeah.
could have been a different feel. But even though it's a little uneven, I really liked the investigation, kind of like what we talked about earlier. I thought it had some good twists and turns. It didn't have red herrings per se, but it took you through a really good, fun path that involved them investigating, them with police investigating. You throw in the crooked cop, the business bad guy who's like, oh, I'm such a good businessman that I give my people 2 weeks off. Like, I don't think Al Capone gave people 2 weeks of vacation, paid vacation and stuff. But if he was so good too, I don't think he would have picked that guy after like he just killed two other people who were in that thing. You think he'd do a better job screening. So I don't know. Like I said, I just got to the whole thing of being there just something that was just a little bit not had me sold, but I enjoyed it. So I am definitely higher up on it than you were. And I don't know if you knew, but it took place at a karaoke bar too. So we had that.
Probably why I also don't care about karaoke. So, well, we kind of already dove into what we actually thought of the mystery itself. So I don't really have that much to add because kind of nailed all of those. Do you have anything else that you want to?
I was gonna say my what I didn't like kind of rolled right into that mystery minute for me.
Yeah. Well, standout senior performance. Mine was definitely the car ride scene with Shade and Detective Nolan in the car together, chatting about Angie, and then Angie asking Curtis, I wonder what they're talking about. And he's like, oh, just probably like sports, the weather, basic things. And they're over there like talking about Angie. I thought that was really cute how they did that scene. So I appreciated that. What about you?
I think that was a fantastic scene, just like when they were at the bar kind of talking to and there. But it's no surprise. I'm heading right to the ending, the karaoke.
Karaoke.
And the great thing about it was you had Angie singing, and I totally, when I saw her, I was expecting her to be the shock of quote unquote shock and just having this magnificent voice. And instead, she was god awful. And I just found that awesome and great to the character. Just what you expect. She was having a blast, but boy, was like I could sing karaoke with her and keep it. And then, of course, when Detective Derek gets up, he was much more talented at it. But then he, brings her up, and once again, it's that subtle, just chemistry between the two of them. Oh man, when we talk about other things, we talked about Victor and Allison, and how I think they're great. Derek and Angie, fire, just fire.
Well, final thoughts on this episode. For me, it was probably one of my least favorite of season one. I have watched the next episode, so I do know what's going to happen there. Uh, and I know it recovers for me. And I
I'm
also will
I
say,
literally
like,
was going to watch it yesterday when I was done. I'm like, what do I do? And that's when I watched Home is Where the Heart Is, because I'm like, what? My co-host says don't go ahead and watch more Private Eyes, so I didn't watch it, and there you are watching
oh,
them all. But
I don't say, I was like, when we record, I watched it this morning before we recorded because I can keep them straight.
well, you're
But
also
for
2 hours
me,
ahead of me, so.
I mean, these could be, there's clunkers, I think, clunker episodes in every series, in every mystery series. And so for me, this was kind of that one where you're like, oh, it wasn't the best. I mean, it's not like I don't like the series because of it, but there's always those episodes where you're just like, this one wasn't for me. And that would be the one for myself
Yeah.
here.
Uh, Way too harsh calling it a clunker. I mean,
I mean, it's not one that I would watch. Like,
uh,
I would skip this one. Like,
IMDb
just in
one,
murder,
IMDb 1 out of 10. What would you give it?
like a 6.
That's not a clunker. That's just it's
A
okay.
clunker for me, I said. Like, this is not one that I would, because in Murder She Wrote, I skip around. And
A
Diagnosis
clunker is
Murder, I
like
might skip
is like
around.
a 2. Like, ugh, they missed
I
it.
don't
They
know,
missed it.
but for me,
All right. Well, for me, what I'm looking forward to is just keep Derek in these episodes. They are so good.
spoiler, he's
And
not in the next one. Just
oh, it's
someone
I
else
mean,
is, though.
don't get me wrong.
Someone else
I
is.
love Shade and I love Angie. They are great leads.
Don't you
But
worry. I
you
think
keep
you're gonna like this next episode and what's coming on Shades End. We'll just say that.
okay. Okay. I guess Kimberly Sustad's making an appearance on
She
Private
is
Eyes.
not, but
But and then the last thing I'll say, just what I'm looking forward to, is it's nice seeing their progression of their relationship, how they are getting closer and closer together, not romantically. Like, yeah, there's a little Shade looks at her and I mean, come on, she's beautiful. So of course he's looking at her, or whatever, but he's not like you said earlier, my boss. He totally has boundaries set up. It's not, I'm leaning forward in to kiss you. He's like, hey, this is my boss who just happens to be a beautiful woman. And she's kind of, you know, hey, I've got this cool guy who used to be in Beverly Hills 90210 as my,
he
worker.
was a former NHL player,
You know,
Eric.
but
Get it
we
right for
all
the
know who
show.
Jason Priestley is.
I did. I mean, I really did. I would not have picked him out. I don't know. I don't know who he is. I didn't watch it.
Ah,
Sorry. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. You go watch episode 8 now.
I will. Well, I'm going to grocery shop, and when I get back, I will watch it.
All right.
Till
See
next
ya.
time, Andrea.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark Channel.